Hello friends, and welcome to my channel, where I am going to be sharing my love of supernatural, paranormal, horror, slasher, anything horror related in that genre. I am sharing it with you on this channel. Spooks by Mitch, and I am Mitch. Without further ado, let's just jump right into today's episode. Today I'm going to be talking about MTV's Fear. I don't know if you guys remember this show or not, but it started in the 90s. I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s is when it first came out. I remember being quite young when it came out. I wasn't allowed to watch it, so of course I had to watch it. It basically was a pioneer of its time. It was three kind of shows in one. It was like a paranormal investigation show, it was a reality television show, and it was a game show. Okay, three things to establish before we go any further, just so that we have a premise of what's going on in the show, is there are 6 contestants usually. Sometimes it varies, but that's usually the ground rule, is just there's 6. They are the film crew. They carry vests with camera equipment attached to them, and they explore these crazy haunted locations. And I'm not just talking about like haunted houses, I'm talking about like giant facilities that have huge history to them. They're usually very historical, and they're thrown into them and explored. The next thing that I want to establish is they have to spend 48 hours in this location and complete these dares to win the prize money. MTV's Fear, because it is a show, does take some liberties into coaxing that fear out of them. But the number one thing that I want to establish through all of this, whether or not you believe in ghosts or not, is what made this show so scary was the very real fear that the contestants experienced. You feel afraid because they are afraid. It is scary. And a lot of the time, because of the camera angles, it's just kind of, you know, like me and my camera right now, you just see this point of view, and they're looking all around and they are terrified. It does cut to different scenes where there are cameras that are already established throughout the facility, so you can kind of see them from a different point of view, which is helpful. But for the most part, you're just experiencing, I want to call it first person, but it's not. It's first person, but reflecting them. I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of term for that. I'll look it up later. Sue me. With that being said, let's just jump into my scaled episodes. I'm going to give you the 3 scariest. I will also include clips. I will also include a link to all of the Fear episodes down below so you can watch them all yourself afterwards. I'm not going to include a whole lot of it, but it's going to be the clips that I'm kind of referring to specifically, I will include and you can see them. So the first episode that I want to talk about, which I thought was very, very scary, it comes from the 2nd season. And it's called The Bootleg Brewery. I have also dubbed this, as well as the show has dubbed this, Monkey Boy. So each episode does give you a very detailed history of the location that they're going in, and you kind of watch it as the contestants watch it, and you learn about it with them in real time. So the Bootleg Brewery was established by a German family that immigrated to the United States of America. Very early into them establishing this brewery, they have a lot of success, and the rumor is that their success was credited to a demonic, I don't know why I'm using quotations, but a demonic deal that they've made, and that this family has sold their soul to the devil for their success. Soon after their success, horrific things start happening to them. One of the, 2 of the brothers get into a fight. One ends up slitting the other one's throat. It's crazy. Even just the history of these places is just so spine-chilling, you guys. And I couldn't imagine going there in the daylight, let alone going on this show and doing what some of these contestants do. Now, the reason that the show is called Monkey Boy is because it focuses around this one entity or spirit that is allegedly still haunting that brewery. Now, Monkey Boy was a real person. He was the illegitimate son of one of the main family members. I guess he had a hookup or whatever with somebody that wasn't his wife. He got her pregnant because of the time, I'm assuming it was like 1940s, this was definitely not okay, especially for a family that was so well respected and successful. They tried to have an abortion, botched the abortion. Because of this child was horrifically disfigured. Unfortunately, I can't even imagine the life that this kid had. To add to this, the father kept this boy in the brewery a secret and in a cage, and everybody called him Monkey Boy because he was so deformed and in this cage. You learn all of this with the contestants, and of course, this is where most of the dares are centered around for this episode. Now, what I want to focus on the most with this episode and what made it so scary for me was the dare centered around this cage that the contestants had to do. So the very first dare with Monkey Boy in it is 3 of the contestants have to go and try and make contact with this spirit via a Ouija board. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about Ouija boards. They terrify me. I've seen way too many scary movies with them. Like, you need to follow the rules on that stuff. But like, anyways. So they go and they use this Ouija board, and they have to use the Ouija board right beside Monkey Boy's cage, which is on the ground next to them, and some weird stuff starts happening to them when that happens. The Ouija board starts acting up. I'm just gonna post the clip for you guys. You guys can see what I mean.
This is the cage where Frederick Jr. kept his illegitimate son.
Using this disc and planchet in your bag, you will now attempt to conjure the spirit of the Monkey Boy. Red, are you there?
Copy.
Now walk down these stairs.
Copy.
The child had been locked away down here for its entire existence.
Sit down opposite of your teammate with your legs crossed.
All right, ready to go.
Place your hands on the planchet gently. You will take turns asking a question. You must watch for any movement on the planchet in response to the question that you asked.
All right, let's go.
Is there a spirit present?
What is your name?
Are you a member of the Becker
Are
family?
you angry that we're here?
Do you want us to leave?
Have you ever known
Are you
happiness?
angry at your father?
Did you ever know your mother?
Why are you still here?
And if you did you miss her? Did she die at birth? Want to read the last one?
What's that noise?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it just moved. Cage is moving around more than once.
Okay, so it's pretty spooky stuff. I was shaking when I first seen that episode. Well, maybe not literally, but I was pretty freaked out. I had a heartbeat going, a little bit more regular than normal. The next one that really shook me to my core with this episode was one of the contestants has to get into the cage and be elevated off of the ground. Now, when he does this, he is of course recording his experience while he's in the cage, and he is reporting that he's hearing things move around in the brewery. He's reporting that the cage is moving on its own. Now, maybe MTV rigged it so that it's moving to try and freak him out, but I just don't know how they would do that. Like, this thing, when you see it, I don't know if you guys seen it, I'll show you the clip, but it's on this metal pulley system. I don't know how they would rig that to make the cage shake the way that they did. I'm gonna post the clip. You guys can take a look for yourselves. Tell me what you think later, but here it is.
You should be by Monkey Boy's cage. Is that where you are?
Oh my god. Yes, I'm at the cage.
Hang on a second.
I'll hang on, but I'm scared.
Hanging next to the cage is a toggle switch.
I have located the toggle.
Press the switch down.
The cage is lowering. The cage is all the way on the ground.
Step into the cage now.
Did you say go inside the cage? You want me to go inside Monkey Boy's cage and sit down?
If he doesn't do it, one of us is gonna have to.
You can do it, man. Don't even think about it.
Just do it, all right? I don't even want to touch this thing.
You know what? I would rather be doing this than do what I just did.
I'm attempting to find out how to open this cage.
You are about to experience the torturous confinement that Monkey Boy endured. Many paranormal investigators warn against this type of spiritual identification because the spirit may latch onto you.
Oh my god.
If a spirit latches, it frees the spirit from the location it haunts, but it stays with that person.
Okay, I'm sitting inside the cage now.
White, close the door and lock it.
You want me to close the door and lock it while I'm in here?
Yeah, Puffin, just do it.
Note to self, never lock yourself in a Monkey Boy's cage. Oh my god, it just moved. Oh god.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that is terrifying. That is scary. I would have been out. It would have been deuces. I would have been out way before any of like, I can't even. Okay, well, with that being said, I am going to move on to the even scarier episode, if you can imagine that at this point. So the next episode that I have deemed reputable on this scale was the Serenity Lake Sanitarium. So the Serenity Lake Sanitarium is also in season 2. I feel like most of the scariest episodes did come from season 2. They really upped their game. Not to say that season 1 wasn't scary, but season 2 definitely held the scariest episodes for me. But Serenity Lake Sanitarium was a tuberculosis treatment center. And I don't know, I didn't know much about tuberculosis. I actually had to Google it, shamefully, but basically it's a bacteria. It was very, very fatal in the 1940s. So much so that they had to create centers for it. And if you contracted tuberculosis, then you basically were going there to die. What is so crazy about this episode is that Serenity Lake Sanitarium is actually pretty close to me. It's in British Columbia. It's in northern BC. I live on Vancouver Island, but I don't know. I think I might have to go check this place out sometime if I can do. I'm going to do a little bit more research, and that is a whole other episode, but for now I'm just going to focus on the MTV's fear aspect of it. So what is so terrifying about this episode, in my opinion, is when she has to go to the children's ward. The contestant is picked for it, and as per her dare, she is instructed to roll a children's ball around the children's ward. And this is to initiate contact with the children who unfortunately died there from the tuberculosis, who are allegedly still haunting the children's ward. It seems simple enough, but what is so bloody terrifying about this is she rolls the ball and it starts rolling back to her. I know that, of course, there is science, and that we are able to, use magnets or electromagnetic energy or whatever you want to call it to simulate this, but I just don't see how they could do that, A, at the time, and B, to simulate it in a way that the ball is rolling around. It's not just rolling back to her as if a magnet is controlling it. It is rolling all over the floor of this children's ward. It is terrifying. It got under my skin. I had no explanation for it. I tried to be like, no, this is just science. No, I'm going to play the clip. You guys can watch it. This is the scariest part of that episode for me. Take a look.
Okay, kids. Let's play. not here to hurt any of you. I'm just here to play. Okay, I rolled the ball forward and it moved back towards me. Oh. My body heat is like really rising. Okay, I rolled one ball forward and went all the way to the left and back towards me. This one ball is like just going everywhere.
I would be freaked out.
I keep hearing like something moving, like keys or chains or something. Balls are moving.
Okay, you see what I mean? It's just there's no way that magnets could do that, or whatever, static electricity even. Like and it's so erratic too. Like it looks like it has momentum, and then it kind of slows, and then it looks like it gets pushed again. You guys, like it. That's like, could you imagine if that happened to you? Like you're in this haunted place, and this ball just starts rolling around. Like, I'm sorry, I'd be out. I'd be out of there. Moving on though, what makes this episode even scarier and more serious is one of the contestants. Her name is Gabrielle. I will always remember her. Or Gabrielle. I stand correct, not Gabrielle. It's Gabrielle. She is forced to stay in this secret room from one of the main doctors. His wife died there or something, and he had the secret room with an altar for her because he couldn't let her go. She's forced to stay in there for, I think it's like 14 to 18 hours. And that's not the scary part. Although that is scary enough on its own, that is not the scary part about what happens to Gabrielle. After this dare is completed, she and the two other contestants have to go into one of the most haunted locations, one of the haunted hotspots in this place, and they have to start a seance. And what happens is terrifying. Gabrielle gets possessed. Now, I don't know what everybody's views on possession are, whether you believe in it or not. I personally do. I believe that there are horrific things out there that are able to take control of your body if you are open and willing to it. What she does, she openly says, I invite you to take control of my body, use it as you will, and she gets possessed. You can notice it the minute it happens. She starts shrieking. It's really scary. I'm not even sure what more to say about it. I'm just gonna play the clip and let you guys decide for yourself what that is.
You will now attempt to channel the wounded spirits of Private Taylor by performing a seance.
It's definitely getting much hotter.
Yeah, it is. It is warmed up so
I'm
much.
starting to sweat.
Okay, calm down.
I'm good. I'm just
We gotta get this over and done with. Yep, that's right. Okay, we have written the name in the blood. Got blood on my hands. Goat blood. I'm sorry about my hand. It's got blood on it. It's okay.
You are about to invite a spirit to enter your body.
Oh, God.
White will be the channeler through whom the spirit will speak.
Oh, God. Can you do this? This is some freaky stuff.
Yeah. My friends at home are not going to believe. I thought last night was going to be it. I really did. I thought that they couldn't possibly send me out on something else major.
I feel like this spirit has not left you. I would definitely do some mad praying, and I will pray the sucker out myself.
Me too. I will. I invite the spirits here to come forth. I willingly give myself over to you. Use my body as a vessel for your voice in this world.
Abraham, we know you went through a lot of pain in the past, and that's probably why you're still here, so we're not going to do anything to further your pain. We just want to talk to you and see what it's like here, all right, Abraham? I understand, Abraham, I understand. I understand. We understand what you went through. I'm so sorry for you, Abraham. Abraham, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
What did she do to you?
She was such a bitch. Calm down, we're still here.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's definitely okay.
Okay. It's okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Gabby, you're back, right, Gabby? Yeah. It's you, Gabby.
It was me. It was me. It was weird. It was weird. I gotta breathe. Please let this be my last day. Please. I didn't come down here for this.
I don't think I've ever been that scared in all my life.
In 2 days, I've spent 20 hours alone in a room in the dark. And I've been possessed. Okay? MTV, you're on some cracked out.
Okay. Now to get to the very last episode that I want to talk about. It's a two-parter. It's part 1 and part 2. They had to put it into 2 episodes, and it is probably the most terrifying episode of any sort of ghost show, paranormal show I have ever seen. It is, I even remember it from being a kid. It stayed with me for months after, and even watching it as an adult now, it's scary. It's scary. And like the things that happen in this episode, you guys, I just don't have an explanation for. I just don't. And maybe you guys do. I'd be more than willing to hear about your episodes, but the episode is in a Mexican gold mine. And this is the very first episode that's international. It's the very first episode of season 2. And it's all centered around the Nuwali. Now, the Nuwali is basically a Mexican shapeshifter spirit. It's a spirit that shapeshifts. And I want to leave the explanation more to the episode. I don't really know how much to say about it, but it's just the dares that are completed in this episode, you guys, that are just so to the core chilling. Okay, so one of the first dares that they do at this gold mine in Mexico is one of the contestants is meant to go to the church that was at the gold mine, and he is supposed to aggravate the Nuwali by pushing over a cross in the church, which after some hesitation he does do. What's so terrifying about this is what happens afterwards. He comes back to the safe house and he is very much not okay. He said that something has been following him. He's terrified. And it's what happens after that is just, I think what made this episode so scary for me is there's this mist that comes back with him, and I guess I'm just going to play the very first clip of this episode and let you guys decide for yourself what you think. Here you go. Here it is below.
How do you feel? Scared as hell. Onto the porch of the iglesia. Come on, I'm getting scared. Open the door and enter into the chapel. Copy. Hello? European settlers developed the Mina dos Estrellas, they brought Christian missionaries with them. This chapel symbolizes everything that the New World opposes.
We made a cross, and we put the cross at the entrance of the door so that the Nahual could not come through, because when they saw the cross, they would flee.
Now walk around to the back of the cross. In order to draw the New World to the chapel, you are now going to knock down the cross.
No, hold on. What am I supposed to do?
Oh my God, you guys gotta knock down the cross.
Knock it down?
Knock down the cross.
If they want me to proceed with it, I'ma quit. I'm telling y'all now.
You can do it, you know that, right?
Tell the girls to give him a whole lot of loving. He does that.
I'm getting really freaked out.
Yeah, I'm about ready to jump on my plane and head back to South Carolina.
You gotta dig deep within yourself to overcome this bull.
Why can't avoid you gotten on road rules? They do fun stuff.
What am I supposed to use?
Push hard on it, your strength. You can do it.
No.
You okay?
No.
Look, I'm starting to hear sounds. Sweetie, you may return to the safe house.
What I think is so terrifying and unexplainable about this episode is when they're in the safe house after half of the team has quit, they notice all of this mist and they start reporting all of this weird mist coming into the safe house in this one corner. And they actually show the footage from the camera that they're looking at through, and you can see it clearly that there's mist all in the corner of this weird, like in the corner of this mine shaft in this safe house. And they show other cameras around this that aren't recording that. So that is eerily spooky. What also happens after that is all of the power goes out in the safe house, and I will just show you guys the clip of that just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about.
It's getting colder.
When you can see your breath and stuff. Yeah.
Something's not right.
We're in like Mexico. We shouldn't be able to see our breath. It should not be this cold. Is it just me or is like,
Is it
why?
blinking?
Huh? No, see how you can't, I mean, I can't even like focus on it.
Whoa.
Huh?
What the is that?
What? That's not right, man.
Feels like there's a glow from this.
Yeah, but I'm saying, well, I mean, it glows anywhere. Like,
Oh, really?
Well, actually, it doesn't.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh my God. Turn that around and go where it's glowing.
Yeah, just get that on film, man. Get that on film.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys, I'm getting like chill bumps. Like my hair is about to stand up.
Well, in there, go further down.
Go further down, man. Let's go. We'll walk. We're cool. Oh my God, you guys. That is not cool at all.
Look at that. That's all over that place. Yeah. That whole wall is bright.
But there's no light anywhere on that wall that it would be shining off of, you know? Nothing's
Dude,
that
this
bright
wall
over
is
there.
freezing. Put your hand up on it.
This is amazing.
You know, Jose was saying something was following him back.
Yeah, he was for real, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, I
He
think
was
he-
not
think he was.
lying,
Yeah, he
not
was
playing
saying,
no
he was hearing
game.
footsteps, and the footsteps were getting closer.
He said it was following him all the way back. Here we go. I'm having problems. You have to put the cow tongue on the sign. I'm scared. Oh no.
I can't hear you. Repeat.
You guys, we lost power. Did you guys read me?
What do you want us to do?
Dave, just remain calm for me, buddy. Just remain calm. It's all good.
Every light in this place, the computer started going haywire and every light went out.
Okay, so I think showing the clip gives you a little bit better idea. I don't think I was explaining it very well, but I thought that was really, really weird and very paranormal in nature and spooky and really scared me. What I also think is so scary about this episode is, I don't know if it's scary or if I just took it that it's scary, but it's the very first episode where every single team member has quit. All of them have quit. And so basically the investigation of this Mexican gold mine is incomplete. So they actually do another episode of the New Wally, and they send a whole fresh team back in. They don't even clean out the safe house. This team comes back, I'm assuming, a couple days later. They're probably backups from the people that they rejected earlier for the casting call. They are calling now to do this. So they do a second episode, which is also, it's scary, but it's not as scary as this first one, and what made this episode so terrifying. The New Wally, I completely believe in the New Wally, you guys. After watching those episodes, I just don't know how you couldn't. Like, people have reported hearing like hooves banging on like the floor, like hooves, animals. This one guy has a night camera that he's completing a dare with, and he says that he reports seeing a cat. You don't actually see that on the footage, but I kind of believe him. Like, why would he say that he sees a cat if he doesn't? I don't know. Like, what do these people really have to gain? Unless, like, the producers of the show are basically telling them to get the more scared you get, the more money you'll get. But I don't see how, because they're all promised the same amount of prize money, and all they have to do is just complete these dares. So that concludes my very first episode of MTV's Fear. I loved the show. It was absolutely terrifying. I wish they would bring it back. I will put all of the links. I will put the link to all of the episodes, all for season 1 and 2, down in my bio. They are available on YouTube for free. Please check them out. Please let me know what you think of the show. I would love to hear what you guys have to think, regardless of what it is. Anything that I talked about, if you can disprove it, if you have any theories around it, I would love to hear those as well. Or if you are just genuinely afraid as well, I would love to hear from my viewers, even though I'm sure for the first little bit, it's just going to be my closest, dearest friends. I would love to hear from all of you too. Thanks for joining me for my very first episode, and bye for now.